Sure, today's practice 16, but besides practicing 16 times already, we had 11 team workouts, so that's 27 days that we've had the opportunity to be together as a team, take away all the player development and all the individual workouts, but I think we're in a good place. We can play tomorrow if need be, so I just got to try and do my best to keep this group focused and entertained for the next 2 weeks as best as we can. We brought in our male scrimmage team yesterday for the first time. We wanted to use those first probably 22, 23 days together just against us. So we also went in the Yingling Center yesterday for the first time. So shooting in the building was a little different. I told Amir we softened the rims for him because he was practicing after us. So we'll be back in there today. I'll open it up for questions.
Coach, congratulations on the extension. I'm a history teacher, not a math teacher. 29 years, when that comes up, that's a long time being on this.
Yeah, well, this has been a great place for me and my family, being able to be at one place for this amount of time. I work for an athletic director that really supports us and cares about the success of women's basketball. A sport administrator that played college basketball, that is dialed in to everything that we do on a daily basis. So our support, it starts with our support administratively, right? And when you have that, people ask all the time, and I tell them, we are supported here at the University of South Florida as a top 25 program. We have what anybody in a football Power 5 conference has, right? We charter back and forth everywhere. We stay at great hotels. We have Alston money, summer cost of attendance. The way that we have a nutritionist that's with us every day, our academic support system, our sports psychology system. So our practice facility, our on-campus arena where we play. So we have the best of the best, right? And, I don't recruit to win our conference, right? Of course, but we recruit on a national level to be in the top 25 every year. So if you do that, you have a great opportunity to compete and win your conference and win your conference tournament. And I think we've done that, not being in a so-called Power 5 conference. We've been in every top 25 poll the last 10 years, right? Now our fans and the community expects us to go to the NCAA tournament every year, but to take that next step, it's hard. It's difficult because you got to have a little bit of luck, and seeding is very, very important. But I think if we continue to recruit the type of student athletes that we've been recruiting and put them in the right situations and continue to mold them and develop them physically, emotionally, mentally, we'll continue to take this program to what it's been doing and hopefully take it to even further.
Coach, following up on what you were saying there, your non-conference schedule is a meat grinder. I think you play Alaska outdoors just to get the experience. Mm-hmm. How much does that help you get into the tournament?
It helps you a ton, but I think, us coaches want to coach against the best people in the country, and I think players do as well. I have no fear in playing anybody. And when your head coach has no fear, your players believe that they can play anybody and beat anybody. So it's just hard to get those games. It's great that next year we're going to have start the home and home against Connecticut. Right now we're finalizing the WBCA to play Louisville and Orlando. Also go to a tournament in Grand Cayman and Vegas outside of what we have this year, which this year in itself, we got Baylor and West Palm. We'll see Texas and Arizona State in the Virgin Islands. We have NC State at home. We have Alabama. But I think you really got to challenge your team in November and December. For us to get as many top 100, top 50, top 100 wins in November and December to help us. Because until our league gets better, those opportunities aren't there in January, February. That's why I was so opposed to our league going to 18 games. Our league's not ready to go to 18 games. We should have stayed at 16. That could have helped a lot of teams go out and schedule 2 great non-conference games.
You look at your core of sophomores that played, a good bit last year. Marina came on strong towards the end of the season. Just what's the growth been from that core, and what do you expect from them this year?
You lose 2 like El and Dulce, right? Two guys that went to in the WNBA draft. So we got to replace 2 guys. Last year we're sitting here. How are you going to replace four starters? Well, we did, and we won 15-1 in the league. We showed over 16 nights we were the best team. It's unfortunate that we chose to go to Dallas and didn't play well on night 1. Especially, we've never known anything else but playing for a championship or the semifinal, right? So I think that freshman class will be counted upon a lot. I think Marina's going to have to play more minutes if Ariel doesn't do her job offensively, because now, last year you had Elle. Elle was a very, very good defender. You can put her on the ball, off the ball. Ariel usually guarded the team's best scorer, right? And then starting our offense. But we're going to need her to knock down shots. Marina's improved a lot defensively. And the one thing that Marina can do, we can play a little faster with her, and she can knock down shots. Now, you go to the wing, and you know what Sammy's going to give you, right? I truly think she's one of the best shooting guards in the entire country. Now, who's going to start along beside her? Well, you got some options there. I think Maria Alvarez right now is leading the charge. She had a great offseason. She's healthy for the first time after 2 knee injuries. Romy Levy's going to be a big part. She's adjusting to playing the wing because she's played, stretch 4 at Auburn in the SEC. You got 2 very talented freshmen in Victoria Blasai and Judah Valero, and another kid that didn't play much because it was hard to play behind Sammy, get minutes behind Sammy, Elle, and Maria is Yanette Arnio. So you're solid there on the wings. At the 4 spot, I think with Brito and Gonzalez, you're steady there. Emma played behind Dulce, which she didn't get a lot of time, but you got her, Lore, JUCO All-American, and then Ev, the transfer from Cal. So I like our balance. We're going to be a little different. I think we can play a lot more people. So who's going to be that guy that's going to have the ball in their hands late in the clock? Or we're going to have to, we've already brought in 3 days where we've had inter squads. We're going to scrimmage again on Thursday, and then have our first scrimmage against against a Division I opponent this weekend, and then the following weekend. So we're going to be different, but I think we're balanced. We have a lot of talent. There's going to be some talented kids that aren't going to see the floor, but that's what good programs have. Sometimes you just got to wait your turn to get that opportunity.
And I know you talked about not just having the ability to play more folks, but the ability to be able to play more folks that could play in an NCAA tournament style of game.
Yeah.
Whether it's non-conference, whether you're at the dance, just do you foresee having maybe 1 or 2 extra on that bench to be able to get there?
I would hope so. There's a lot of things that you don't anticipate, and you got to control what you control. Biggest thing is injuries, right? And how there's going to be peaks and valleys during the year, especially for the transfers, JUCO, and for incoming freshmen, because we play a very, very good schedule, and hopefully in those 12, 13 non-conference games, that prepares them to get ready for January and February. Because, night in, night out in January, February, we got a target on our back. So, which is good. I like expectations. I like that people really think highly of our program and where our program's at. And like I said, we should be where we're at because, there's a lot of coaches around the country that talk about, support and how they're supported. I should finish in the first and second. If I do my job, if we do our job recruiting, and my staff does a good job developing, if we do a great job preparing for our opponents, because we're supported that way, you know? So, yeah, there is an expectation, because we're given so much, you know? We should be able to do what we're doing with how we're supported.
The last couple of years, you've had an elite rebounder.
Yeah.
Do you see one emerging here, or do you think the rebounds just are naturally going to have to be more distributed with what you've got on your team?
Well, I like that Danny and Carla do a great job on the glass now. You know, from Emma, Lore, and Ave, I think it's going to be a collective. I think we've gotten a lot bigger size-wise. We got some. The two freshmen, you know, came in with unbelievable experience, and their bodies aren't freshman bodies, right? And Romy Levy's a big guard. You know, Sammy's big. So I think it's going to be collective, but it's how you practice and how you demand, right? So in everything that we do, it's about blocking out and rebounding and assaulting the glass. That's all effort stuff, you know, and you can control a lot of that in practice. So how we compete in practice and how we challenge each other every day, then it carries over to how you do that in games. Because, yeah, we've had some very good rebounders. I think you do a great job recruiting, but then you got to do a great job demanding that in practice with. Look at our rebounders that we've had, the last three, right? They've led the league in rebounding. Dulcie, before that Betty, before that was Alicia Jenkins. Those guys went after it, you know. So now, from a collective base, if we do that collectively as a team, we should be fine.
You mentioned Sammy Cleases, obviously you know what you're going to get from her, but what did you see from her this offseason in terms of maybe steps that she took in her own game or certain things in her skills?
Well, the big thing with Sammy, we had to, and she needed to be able to create off the bounce. Her ball handling needed to improve, her finishing moves, right? So those were really the biggest things to take her game to the next level, being able to put it down on the deck and attack from different areas, put her in different areas on the floor where she can create off the bounce, right? Posted her, worked on and posted her up some, you know? So diversifying her game where her game was going to increase to have a great season, but then also prepare her for the next level.
We have time for one last question. Coach, away from the hardwood, you get a chance this summer, what'd you do with the family? Discover any new corners of the earth or anything?
Well, I think my athletic director's in the back of the room, so he knows how many trips I took this summer, and I thank him for that. He thinks, hopefully he doesn't think I was just on vacation all summer, but
After so many years.
no. You know, everybody knows I love to fish. I live on a lake, so anytime I can hang out by the pool, lake, or ocean, that's great. Wife and I went to Cabo after the season. That was good. I love Formula One, so I went to the Miami Grand Prix down there. Let's see, my wife and I went to Spain. But I went recruiting. I was in Turkey twice recruiting. I was in Sofia, Bulgaria. I was in Lithuania as well. And then my 3 trips in September, which I missed our football games. I was in Austria, back to Spain, and then I went down to Argentina. I also got an opportunity to go see 4 of my former players play Eurobasket in Israel. So that was a really, really great experience.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for supporting our program and being here.